Hello, mi amores. Hola. And happy Thanksgiving weekend to you all. I'm Judge Desire for Knowledge, and I am doing on legal studies. On legal matters this week, and only because it is the last day of the week, of the month. And I always do on legal matters at the end of the month. So I have a very exciting title for you. I think last week on Know Your Truth Real Talk, I discussed that I was going to do matrimonial law. So I got that. I got you guys. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and a great Thanksgiving weekend, and that you guys are safe and blessed. Giving thanks for all things that are great, big, and small every day, not just this weekend, not just Thanksgiving Day, but every day. So please like, share, and subscribe so that people that need this information on this Legal Matters show will actually have that opportunity to get it by sharing and liking it. Or even if you don't share, please like so it can get around in the algorithms, because there's certain ways that it goes. And I don't care about the popularity as much, but that the fact that the right people that need the information get it. Because sometimes I have people ask me questions and I'm like, go watch my channel, Judge Desire for Knowledge. I mean, things are out there. I don't mind helping, but if I know that people do want the information. I also wanted to say hi, IAAH Radio. Go check me out there every Saturday at 3 as well on IAAH Plus. Download that app. And you can also listen to It's All About House. It's the same thing, IAAH Radio, with the best DJs and the best music in town. Go check them out. They actually get me live every Saturday there and here on YouTube at 3 o'clock for Know Your Truth Real Talk. And monthly, as we're doing right now, on Legal Matters. I'm sorry I jumped the gun right there, but I'm sorry I'm not live today as well. And because it's a holiday weekend and I'm with family, friends, and having a great time. So, with that being said, I hope you are as well. And I hope you enjoy this on legal matters topic today, because it's serious. So, take notes if you need to, replay if you have to. But I just wanted to come straight at you with things that's happening in real time, real life. On Legal Matters show this week, we have matrimonial law, on how to protect yourself from users, the gold diggers. That's the title this week. And how we do that is by protecting yourself in these simple steps. We don't have to make it so hard legally. We're going to make it simple for you. I am anyway. I'm going to make it simple as I can. If you can't get this, I don't know how you're getting it. But yeah, we need to know how to adjust situations when we get into relationships, marriage, or partnerships. This can be for both, whether you're moving in with someone, or you're about to marry someone, or you're thinking about it. The users are out there, and so are the gold diggers. So take notes, and it's serious, because you may say, yeah, I'm not going to worry about that, because but then you're going to be later on saying in the courtroom, I didn't think about that, right? Because I see it all the time. I see it all the time. And it's not to put you down or anything, but it's good to know and have knowledge and information for yourself, where you don't have to go out there and say, I didn't know. Because we got all kinds of ways and technology that we can achieve the goals we need to, if we just did the research for it. So coming back to the main um, ideal here is that I just want to inform you that there are users and gold diggers out there, whether they're female or male. It's not just one. So we know which race particularly is. I'm sorry, which sex particularly are the ones that are the gold diggers, but I'm not going to say it here on this channel. You choose which one is, with the ratio up and down the scale, who's more of a gold digger. But in this content, it's both male and female, not race. I meant to say sex. Um, Gold diggers come in all races and sex, okay? So never forget that. In everything we do, it's always going to be either female or male, or all races or ethnic backgrounds. So what matrimonial law does is it governs marriages, divorce, and all responsibilities between spouses, which is also called family law or domestic relation law. relations law, and you can get these books in the law library to look them up. I'll say it again: family law or domestic relation law. There's other ones, but right now we're not going to get all technical, and we're going to simplify everything so that you can understand and address the situation before it happens or if it's happening to you. So we're going to start with, I'm going to start with telling you what a user is. Please like and share. A user in a relationship, for you need to know ahead of time, so when matrimonial law comes in, because eventually you get a relationship in some form or manner. This relates to also common law in your state. I'm talking about New York state laws right now, and basically, if you need to know about any other state, you would need to research that. But common law is as well as someone moving in with you. So I would put this in the same content as those getting married or who are already married, okay? So a user is one who exploits emotional vulnerability, which means that they exploit you while you're weak. Targets financial security, which means that they look to see how much you make and if you make enough, or at least more, what they can see in the future as theirs, not basically to build with you, okay? Avoids responsibility of things like, for instance, if they not working or are working, they're expecting you to do it all. So if they're in a relationship, move in with you or marry you, they're going to want to avoid responsibility at all costs. They also manipulate for personal gain and uses marriage and sometimes relationships once you move in, because that's like a marriage, right? As a financial strategy. So be very careful on those types. We got certain people from certain countries that do this purposely, to people that leave the states and go and they think they found their treasure, male or female, husband or wife in another country. But that's not true. Sometimes these people don't have the money to actually take care of themselves, and unfortunately, they use others that do. And they're not really in love with you. You're just next. So be careful with that. And most of the time, they have other boyfriends, men, or another husband, or vice versa, wife, or girlfriend in that country. This creates a big triangle of lust, and sometimes if you look in the YouTube, they have a lot of these triangles going on. This is why most of them, I don't watch the shows because I see it in court a lot. So I'm just going to speak out of experience, work experience, and basically it ends up being criminal. Someone gets hurt, people get hurt. So this is very vital that you take this information down so that you don't think someone actually loves you when they don't. You'll know. And if your intuition tells you they don't, or the red flags, then please listen to yourself. It's most likely true. Matrimonial law provides legal tools and protections, but you first have to understand how to use them. All right. So that I just explained was a user is one who. So if anybody that you are dating or in a very committed relationship right now, but not married or is married, and you find out this person is like any of that check off list I just did, check that list and check off more than three, I ask you to reevaluate your relationship, but it's not up to me. That's up to you. I'm not giving you advice on breaking up or anything. I'm just saying if it looks that way for you, then maybe you need to look into it more further. The breakdown of the tools that for you to understand matrimonial law is: before marriage, protect your money, property, and future. Prenup agreements, they're called prenuptial agreements, is the number one tool to block and stop. Okay, to block and stop a user from, one, taking your assets, two, taking half your retirement, and believe me, they can, even if they've never worked. But it depends on how you work yourself out of it, and the steps that you take. Claiming spousal support and alimony. That's what you need to do in a prenup, I'm sorry, because alimony is no joke. Some people marry and they know they're not going to be in it for the long. If it's more than a year at least, they can actually if you leave them or they leave you, collect alimony. And I'm talking about people that I have actually seen in personal relationships and actually workplace experience, work experience, life experience, where a relationship ends and they're the adulterer and they still took the money because whether you're female or male, you didn't address the situation. They still went and took your money. That's a gold digger. That's a user. That's someone that never had it and probably never will. They used your assets to claim like as if they did something for themselves, but they never do. If they can't have children or they can, they're going to accumulate whatever they can out of you, whether it be child support, alimony. They can't child support. They can't have children. It's going to be your alimony. Or if you don't have children with them, if it's both, you're going to take both. So be very careful. And claiming rights to your business, your home, or your real estate in your prenup is very important, because this is what you want to stop a user from doing: taking your assets, taking half your retirement, claiming spousal support and alimony, as well as child support if you have children, and claiming rights to your business, home, or real estate. That's most thing that they go for. All right, because that's users, opportunists. They do that, and gold diggers. They're all three to me the same. The opportunity is you. They don't bring anything to the plate. They just take. They may seem and address like they are giving you or doing you a favor, but in the end, you're going to realize it was all a facade, an illusion. A prenup can legally protect. Now, these are the steps you need to know. A prenup can legally protect premarital savings. That means that your savings automatically that you had before marriage is yours. Vehicles before marriage, pension, 401k before marriages, houses before marriage, family inheritance before marriage, business and investments before marriage. But a user most likely will resist a prenup. That's the red flag right there. So you got to be really careful. But when I go back to address the situation of the prenup that can legally protect these things, I've seen people go after it. So in that prenup, I would actually, not advice, but I would tell you to actually, because I don't advise, I'm not an attorney, to actually make sure that you put in a stipulation that everything you came in with is yours. That's it. Just to make sure to double it, because these greedy mongers, users, gold diggers, opportunists, they always go after everything, no matter what the law says, just to see if they can get it. All right, and so we're gonna now learn the difference between marital and separate properties. Okay, a separate property is yours alone. So if you came into a marriage, or someone moved into with you before marriage, you already had the property, that's yours. That is not marital property. Untouchable in most divorces, okay? And these are untouchable in most divorces as well. Property you own before marriage, like I said, cash savings from before marriage, inheritance before marriage, gifts given to you directly before marriage, lawsuit compensation such as, personal injury suits or whatever, medical injury, whatever happened to you that you are getting a lawsuit compensation from. This is untouchable in most divorces because it's separate property, yours alone. All right. However, now here's the however, if you mix or commingle assets, a user, opportunist, and gold digger, because they're all the same to me, can attack them. So be very careful. If you mix or commingle assets, a user or opportunist can attack them. For example, let's say if you put your premarital money into a joint account, it becomes marital. It's simple as that. You're adding that person in there. What's the solution? Keep your separate property in your own account. Everything in your own account. Separate property. Keep it in your own account. Keep it in not only in your own account, but also in your title as well. I just realized that. And in your name only. Deeds, titles, everything, even to your car. Just do not allow, because you never know. Just when they lovey-dovey on you, I mean, you may think this is the best person you've ever had in your life, and that's how users, opportunists, and also gold diggers work. They look, they always overwork themselves, looking beautiful all day long, things like that, or handsome all day long, and they finesse you in your pockets and taking it out your pockets. So be very careful of these type of women or men. And I'm not saying marriage is bad, but if you feel that way, look at their history, like kind of like give it time before you rush into anything. Find out what their history before you were, and then you'll know the truth. Because if they consistently look like they are in and out of relationships or marriages, then they were in there for not the long run, then that's what they are. That's what they do. That's what they're known for. Okay, so be very careful. And we're going to talk about during the relationship. Like I said, I'm using this platform, this content today for marital law, but we also going to include relationships as well, because people do move in, and it's pretty much like being married except without the documentation, and that can hurt you in court as well. Especially, as I said, common law can hurt you as well as children that come into play, and then you find out that that was the only reason why they came into play, was to get into your pockets, because they noticed you have what they don't have and what they don't want to get for themselves. So during the relationship or marriage, how to stop financial manipulation, users often do. All right, so users often try to get into bank accounts, rush for joint credit cards. Be very careful of that. Encourage you to fund their lifestyles. Oh, I'm going to do a business, a hair salon, a nail shop, whatever. I'm going to put this on a personal level. Someone from another country went to live in another country. They met someone from that country. Okay, and this is in the courts too, but this is a personal one. I have a friend. Um, he gave her everything, bought her a beauty salon. He owned his own business. The girl went and had a child. I'd say it's 2, 3 years into the marriage. She just outright left. Took the baby, got him in child support court. And the laws over there were different, so it was even quicker. She took his business and everything. The only business he got now standing on is the one that he had before he met her. Let that be a lesson. I mean, this is how it is. Let that make sense, but it does, because if you be fooled by these tricksters, whether they male or females, you're going to get tricked out of what you worked hard for. All right, and they're going to go take it along to the next one and probably do it to them too, but who knows. um, they will also push for joint credit cards. We said that. Encourage you to fund their lifestyle, like I just said. Someone I know that happened to. And stop working once you're committed. Once you're committed and you notice, oh, I don't feel like working, maybe you could take care of me. Or maybe they never worked and never going to. But if you see that, those are signs too. They'll also guilt you into helping them. Oh, please help me just this one time. Be careful of those things, because with that, I would have to file, if you're not married or you are, I would have to have that in writing. If it's something where it's a big purchase and they guilt trip you into just help me this once, sure, you just signed this document for me saying that whatever it is, you're going to go work it back and put it back into our savings or into our investment. Because if it's an hour, oh, you are, then it's our, not a yours or mine's. So I would definitely fill forms out there. And it doesn't mean you don't love that person or trust them, but most likely when they're saying just this once, it's not going to be just this once. And then you'll regret it later. Or you say no, one or the other. If you don't feel like you want to put them through signing documents because you don't want them to feel a certain way, don't give the money, because you're going to wish you did fill out a promissory note with them, or something that promises that they give you back the money or put it back into your your partnership somehow. And always protect yourselves, which I've been saying constantly, because users are abusers and opportunists and gold diggers. So be very careful. Always protect yourself by keeping financial assets separate, not adding someone to a deed or title just because. Don't listen to the crying that tell them to go get their own home. Oh, you don't love me. Oh, love will tell, and love is not monetary all the time. It's showing effort, it's showing faith, it's showing Action. Definitely action. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear this. Everybody does that. But action is what is going to wake you up. Not adding someone to that deed just because, okay? Never co-sign a loan for anyone outside, anyone at all, I would say, but I'm saying that especially someone that might leave you, take what you have and leave you with the loan as well. So, and you would have to pay for everything, such as, let's say, for example, you wanted, they're going to act like they can get the car on their own, but they can't. So this is the way of fooling you into, oh, I'm going to try. But they know that you're going to need to co-sign. So now you co-sign, and in a year or less, they're out of your life, and they're not going to pay for it, and they still have the car. You got to pay for it. All right. Never paying off someone's debt unless legally required. Okay. That is how you protect yourself. You're never paying off someone's debt unless legally required, because the court sees that and they'll say, but you've paid these debts off from them in the past, so why should we give you back what you've been doing before? So be very careful with that, because once you make a repetitive list of what you continue to do, and then come all of a sudden now you stop because you didn't know, they're not going to stop. They're going to grant that person everything because you didn't think. All right, so think with your head and not with the lesser one. All right, and that goes for all of us, female and males, but you know males especially, because they be getting y'all real bad. I don't want to laugh about it, because my next show is going to be males exclusive, and I'm going to have an all girls exclusive the next 2 Saturdays back to back. I don't know which one first. Come check me out on social media and you'll know which one is going to come up first. I'll be posting it there, or on YouTube. You'll see it there as upcoming live, hopefully, if I'm not at an event. All right, and keeping proof of expenses and transfers is very important. Also, do not pay for major purchases in their names. If they leave you, you get nothing back. I just wanted you to know that everything must be in your name, your credit card, so that you can show the court you bought this, it was theirs, and you want your money back because you bought it as a gift. Even if a gift, and you can show the court that this person used you as a user, opportunist, or a gold digger. You didn't put it in their name, because that won't prove that you bought it. You need to pay. Do not pay for major purchases in their name. That's all you need to pay. If they leave you, you get nothing back. I say it again. All right, so I wanted to go into if they move in with you, okay? If they move in with you, cohabitation is a major trap, so be very careful. As I stated earlier, users take advantage of what you need to do when they do, because they take advantage once they do, and once you live with them or ask them to move in with you, or if they've moved in with you. The things you would need to do if you do approve of it is ahead of time, because this is not a marriage, and even with marriage is the prenup, but this is a sort of kind of agreement like a prenup. You will need a written cohabitation agreement where it says this is the rules and this is what you look into, what you want done. Clear the rules about what you want done. Rent and bills, who's paying what happens if you break up, you know? These things are important. And then protect your home. Do not put them on your deed. Again, this is very important. Or your lease. Do not add them. All right, even if the landlord would like them to be added, or you said I would like it to the landlord, then they would have to add them. Do not, okay? Do not add them to your lease. Because then this is saying that if things go bad, let's say an order of protection and they want you out of the house, they're on the lease, okay? Out of the apartment, out of the house, out of the rental, they'll actually come to you and they'll be like, okay, I want him out. And we've seen this on many shows where the order of protection throws out the husband or the wife, and only because they never owned anything, but the lease did. The lease stated the person was added. So be very careful. Do not put them on your deed or add them to your lease, and do not add them to your mortgage, please. Do not list them because they'll be paying you. You'll be paying the mortgage while they live there with whomever else or by themselves. Who knows? They're tricksters. They know how to do it. So be very careful. And I'm not saying everybody. You can't trust everybody in the world. But we have come to a point in time in life where we just have to be ahead of ourselves and just say, "What if?" And if you don't do that and you're honest and you want to play the game of everybody's honest when they're not, and then you're living a life of a lie, but that's on you. I'm just trying to help you here. I'm just giving you whatever tips, not advice, that I can to help in any form or manner because I see this on a daily basis, personally and from other relationships in my work experience and life experience. As I always say, my content is real. This is no joke. I work in the system there too. So I bring it to you so that you don't make these mistakes because we're here to do that for one another, empower one another, strengthen one another, and improve one another, right? That's what we're here for. I wish I was live with you guys today. Oh, but I do hope you had a great holiday and a safe one. All right, and definitely do not list them as a defendant. I'm sorry, as a dependent. I work in the course too long. As a dependent unless required, okay? Because if you do, then they're dependent on paying their bills when it's over, whether you're married or not. And if you decide to leave the relationship, these are the steps that you need to take because matrimonial law gives you the tools to prevent users from draining you on the way out. Okay? And when we say users, we're talking about them gold diggers and those opportunists. All right. And so they will drain you on the way out. So here comes the law giving you the tools. Here's one I was just mentioning: temporary orders. Before the divorce is finalized, you can request these temporary orders, okay? If it's not a marriage, there are other orders. I'll get to it. Temporary financial restrictions can be placed. Okay. Exclusive use of the home can be placed, which means that you exclusively use the home and that's it. Restraining orders can be called, and that, I mean, be done, written, and that's called an RO. If intimidations or threats are made, of course, or are used, and you're feeling like you need to. There are also temporary order of protections, and those are called TOPs. And then there's permanent order of protections, which is much serious and it's harder to get. You really have to prove something really bad has happened in your home to get it to become from temporary to a permanent order of protection, which is called a POP. All right, temporary order of protection is a TOP, and permanent order of protection is a POP. And tell them Judge Desire for Knowledge told you so. You want to know why? Because we have the desire for knowledge. All right. Blocking assets. Yeah, the user spending sprees. Yes, start blocking those assets. Cut off those cards, credit cards, joint cards. I hope you didn't do that. That you did not create a joint credit card between you and them. This only way is not stating. The only way you would have a joint credit is this person is truly a trustworthy person, because we got people out there we can trust. Yes, yes, but we have a lot more that we can't. So before you ever make things official, be sure that you know for sure. All right, because if you did do a joint, block block all assets, the user spending sprees, all their cards and everything. All right, because you have the right to do so. All right, and you got to protect your accounts immediately. You have to, and then you separate your finances. You stop auto pay transfers on them, if any. Yep. Don't pay their bills. You stop the auto pay. Freeze joint credit cards, like I said already, and change all passwords and PIN numbers off your card and even their cards if they let you know. If they didn't, it doesn't matter. Once you cancel the cards, that's it. Now, if they applied for it and it's under your account, you got to call, because I'm sure it's not their money. If it is under their money, that's their card. Let them run it up. They still got to pay it. But if it's under your banking and you have helped them attain it and it's coming through, you change all passwords and PIN numbers and call the companies to block all assets of that person, the user, and I literally mean user, but at this point, the card user that you have on your credit card, because everyone has an additional user. Not everyone, but some people do. Take them off. Even if you have to cut off your own at this point and get in new cards or whatever. Because the numbers are going to be the same. So even if you call the company, they're going to have to send you new cards. I think the numbers are the same. I'm not sure. And if they're not, that's cool. You just tell them take off such and such off of it. They're no longer a user on my assets. And I mean no longer a user, right? On Just Desire for Knowledge. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm doing on legal matters today, on matrimonial law, which is pretty cool, huh? And we're up to protect yourself during a divorce. So if you got into the steps of all those things I've told you, and now you're at the divorce phase, the discovery phase is something they do at trials, and they have one in the divorce phase because it's a trial. Okay, you're going through matrimonial law. That part is sometimes people think it's in family court, but it's in actual Supreme Court. So what happens here, this is one of the most, if you thought criminal court was bad, okay, this court is just as bad because you got people fighting over assets, children, and blah, blah, blah. We could go on. Family, period. Protect yourself during this divorce or whatever. I'm sorry if you're going through one or you're going to. But the discovery phrase is just like the rest in any court trial, is when all spending of assets are exposed. All right, bank statements, income, debt, spending, and assets that they hid as well. So on vice versa, whoever. These things come up because the lawyers in charge really do their investigations, and the courts does it. They will get anything they need to out of it to build the case, not against people because they're impartial, but to see who's telling the truth and what's being done. All right, because they're the truth, the person that the truth finder. Okay, the judge is the truth finder, so they're gonna find the truth. So these bank statements will come up in a discovery phrase. So will the income. So will the debt. So will the spending. So will the assets that they hid, if they didn't hide it. Unless they hid it offshore. I'm not sure if they can, but it will be found. Believe me, don't go offshore trying to hide it now, because I said it. Because you know what? If I knew or didn't know how they can do it, I'm not going to share that here because I'm not going to let users use other people. Hiding access. I'm sorry. That was funny what I just said, right? Hiding assets can cause them to lose credibility with the judge as well. So I've seen that a lot of time when the judges see that that person has actually hid their assets, or they were working and they lied about the amount of money they made, which they're supposed to show their income and prove it by wages, and to know that they work two jobs instead of one, things like that. A judge, you lose credibility in the court, okay? So now they're looking at you like, I don't know what to believe about you right now, so you're not looking so good. Now, I wanted to state that alimony protection is really important as well, because if they never contributed, the courts, with alimony, you can get protected if they never contributed, barely worked, or were financially abusive. All right? So you can argue against alimony. You can prove marital misconduct this way, like infidelity, like I stated earlier. If that person, if you do not fight before alimony, they can file, but you still have a right. You have a right to what you need to say in court. Do not miss the opportunity to tell them that they were not faithful, or that you can prove marital misconduct that way. Please do it, ladies and gentlemen, because why should your hard earning money go to some slouch who never was really in the relationship less than a year or whatever it is, and was all out to gain from you? Why?
Let that make sense. I don't see where that makes sense. It's not about revenge, it's about your money. And this person will do it to the next person. So you stop them now. The users, the manipulators, the opportunists, and gold diggers. I put manipulators in there, but you know what I meant. So you can prove marital misconduct, like infidelity for one example, which is most likely what it is a lot of the time, or abuse. Domestic violence could be a part of it. I don't know, but I know they will still try to get alimony out of you. Can you believe the audacity of some people? I'm like, no way. And I know someone personally, and I'm like, I can't believe you allowed that to happen. But that's okay, because you know what? You live and learn. Doesn't mean that you be laughed at or anything. The person laughing last is going to be you. Believe me. You can use financial records to also show intentional unemployment. And when I say intentional, that means that this person never had planned to work. They were looking at you, and you were the golden prize. The courts will not reward strategic laziness, okay? If someone strategically lays out their laziness, has no other reasons not to work, the courts will not reward them, all right? So don't think that they'll get a reward if you've done your job right, at least, and you've proven yourself. So now that's during the divorce. After divorce, continue protections of your finances, okay? Do not resume financial support unless it's ordered by the court. Because if the court ordered it, you have to until you get to the point where if something comes up, you need to prove it to the court and you can have it stopped. It's like child support. You file the claims and you get them stopped or looked at and checked again. Do not resume financial support. Do not provide housing. Keep communication documented, text and email. So if someone says to you, I knew I was going to get this from you, and too bad for you, and now I got you, ha ha ha. These things are good to have, text and email. Why I would never record is because it's inadmissible in court, to be taping people. So you cannot unless with their permission. And who's going to give you permission to say what they don't want the courts to know or anyone else on a tape? They're not going to give you that permission. So text it, text them at all times. Create a file, because I've done this on people and told people, and I don't mean in a personal, I'm talking about outside in businesses. I have created files on everyone I start business with, and I've been doing well with that. Because once you create a file, text, and emails, and you save them either on your to-do list or something, because create a Microsoft to-do list. There's other ones. That's my favorite one. These things are documented, and on your phone, continue to put it up in cloud or wherever you send your storage to, and save it. You never know when it will come in handy. I have won many cases due to the fact that no one knew I was keeping a file on certain things. Once you get a suspicion, you start keeping a file on people, and then you go, you know what? I got you. You know? Be ahead of them. Be smarter. Work smarter, not harder. All right? Don't work hard for these gold diggers, please. Ugh, they're not worth it, because you're not the only one, okay? Don't forget that. Avoid emotional traps or guilt trips, because they're good at that. All right? Definitely good at that. I know for a fact. I see it in the courts. I see men and women be wildered, especially men. They're like, I can't believe that happened to me. I'm like, I don't laugh at them, but it's just there's too many shows. There's court shows, even though some of those shows aren't accurate on what's happening, but most of them are. And then you got all kinds of other stuff that you can also check and see that, well, how did I get here? And we all make mistakes, but if we keep making the same mistakes, we're not learning the lesson, are we? So now I'm going to move on here to the red flags so that you can get to know what a user is, because the courts the red flags of a user, the courts recognizes a lot. I'm gonna tell you which ones it is. Courts see these patterns all the time, and so let's start with them. All right. The first one is financial dependence. That this person is always financially needing someone, financial dependence with no effort. You met them when they were unemployed and they still are. Yeah, that one. Sudden interest in marriage once your finances improve. Wasn't interested until you leveled up. Okay, so these things are really, if there was a sudden interest in marriage, once your finances improved, they weren't interested until you leveled up. Okay, you could have had relationships and they sat back, they analyzed you, they waited for your child support to end, they waited for your money to grow, and now you're, but you weren't the one they were actually waiting for, but they was listening, they were watching, they were waiting, but they were with other people, and then now your turn. I see you're building, I see you're leveling up, I'm coming. Hi, honey. Oh, now I think we could start our relationship up now. Have you ever heard of that one? I've seen that. I've seen it in a personal level and in the court level. So, woof. And that's really, it's sad that people think that all that glitters is gold, but underneath it's rotten. So be careful of things that glitter a little too much. It's never what it seems, right? That's why I don't overwork myself. You see me as I am, I'll do it. I'm not overdoing it unless I need to. I'm not every day trying to be the best of the best unless it's business. Looks and that's secondary. That's not my primary. You know what I mean? So, because I'm not here trying to take from people. I got my own. So why do I have to impress anybody? I'm impressing me. It's for me. It's about me. And if I'm married, it's for us, which I am. So it's about us. It's not just about me, but primarily myself. I don't do it for others. And I'm not going to try to be the best looking on this platform, wearing makeup all day and trying to look all great. I just come to give a message. I'm not here to do a beauty salon show or be Miss America or a beauty pageant like most people. What's the relevance in that? I mean, it's beautiful to take good care of yourself. That's one, and I do that. I smell good. I look good. I don't have to overdo it. So be careful of people that are over glittered, overmade. When they're overmade, oh my God, you'll be very careful because they're wearing a very big mask, and that mask is going to fall. And when it does, you'll be like, I never thought of that this person would be that person. Oh, they are. Anyway, getting back, pressuring into marriage quickly, that's another one. Oof, within a few months of meeting, they are ready. Because now they're like, I only got in here to marry you, to take your money. They'll be out, you never know, maybe some less than 6 months, definitely less than a year. And then you got those smart narcissists. They'll stay there for 2 years, maybe until they get tired, but not longer than 5. And some have, but they're out. They're out. So they're the ones that pressure you into marriage within a few months of meeting you. So be careful of those that are ready already, because you don't know why they're ready, right? And the hidden debt. They hide their previous debt from you and the debt that they are creating behind your back, so that they'll slam dunk you with it. For instance, let's say you have a business and you're putting them in control of it, or you're putting them to pay the bills, pay the mortgage, get the shopping done, and they're taking on the side and creating debt for you, where you find out, for instance, I've seen this in the court, they're going to take your home now because the person you put in charge was actually using all your money for other things, that kind of thing, hiding debt. Yeah, and now you're in foreclosure. Be very careful and stay on top of your money. It's yours. Don't leave it to be anybody else's. Don't be a fool, all right? This is the way that you get to retain your dignity, okay? All right. And what's yours? Take it from me, Judge Desire, for knowledge, all right? I'm telling you because I've seen all this stuff happen. All right. Irresponsible spending is another one. It's not their money, so they don't care. Have you seen that? Yeah. Not contributing to the household because their whole idea is to take, not contribute. So be careful. Using children or pregnancy as a leverage. Oh my goodness. And when I worked in the Oh, family court. Oh my God. Children bring additional income in their pockets, and they actually stated that in the courtroom. Oof. One time, and it's not public record, so I cannot, when it comes to family law, give names, and I wouldn't anyway. But there was a woman that had 5 children with 5 different men. That's just some people. Some people have 3 different men, 4 different. I don't care. The point is, each child has a docket number, so the child support is each docket number, and she gladly was happy about it. I mean, she bragged. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, using children or pregnancy as a leverage to attain your money. All right, that's bringing additional income in their pockets instead of them just wanting to bring life into the world. That's another income for them. Now you know why some children are mistreated. They're home alone. Most of the time they don't have a relationship with their mother or father because they were just leveraged by either one or the other or both. And that's why there was so many children out here that you've seen the abuse, because a lot of women didn't want their children. They were used as leverage, and a lot of men too, mostly women, because that's what I see in the court. They were just leverage, and they have no use for them. They get rid of them, and you know what I mean by get rid of them. Well, sorry about my OBS tape today. It's acting up pretty much, but that's okay. The message is still going forward, and that's all that matters. And be wary of isolation tactics used to cut you off from your support system so that you don't see the manipulation they're doing on you. And the more isolated you are, the easier they can control and manipulate you. So be very careful with that. And then there's that emotional manipulation to access your money. Yeah, love bombing you before asking you for the money. Be careful. What they do with that is the emotional manipulation of that to access your money is by love bombing you before asking for the money. You see, all of a sudden, you have all this beautiful over the top affection, fast attachment to you now, constant praise when they never did it before, idolizing you. I mean, if these things are all new to you and you never seen this before, then you know something's up. So be careful. And that's separate from the red flags. But if all of these things are happening, then you know to address the situation for yourself and see where you are in that relationship to them. Like I said, action speaks louder than words. These are not normal relationship patterns if you want to go by the steps. All these steps are for you to see the manipulation ahead, so you save yourself the time and money figuring it out later, and it costing you much more in attorney fees, because it's tripled. Attorney fees can start as a minimum, and I mean minimum, $200 an hour, and $250 I believe now. If you minimum, and that's not even the best lawyer. If you feel this is your story, please step aside and pull back and watch to see if there are changes in their behavior that calls out gold digger to you. It might just be. So if you are too far in the relationship, set up the evidence needed ASAP. Get those texts, those emails started. Ask questions. They won't even know why you're doing it, just in case you may need it. Because we got a whole lot of people out there that don't wish you well. Not everybody out there is for you, so don't forget that, right? And so, with that being said, I wish I was here live, but I hope you enjoyed this session on legal matters with me, Judge Desire for Knowledge. And please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to the new subscribers. I adore you all. You mean a lot to me, mi amores. When I'm bringing you the truth, here I am, bringing you the truth and nothing but the truth on legal matters with me, Judge Desire for Knowledge, is now adjourned. And I will see you on the next one. I hope to see you real soon, mi amores. Ciao. Oh, IAAH Radio Plus. Download the app. Thank you, DJ 5AM, the CEO of IAAH Radio, which is it'sallabouthouse.com. Ciao.